Provodnikov. Can he work his way back into the mix? It is time for our main event. Two fighters with similar styles. Two fighters desperate to prove themselves. Of course, for Ruslan Provodnikov, proving his lone loss shouldn't have been. That is the call to order. And for Ivan Popoca, he wants to prove he can step up and out beyond his hometown fights back in Illinois. And there is Ruslan, 5'6", 140, 27 years old. He's made steady work appearing on Friday night fights. He comes from Siberia, finishes up his training for each fight in Southern California. This is first fight with trainer Buddy McGirt. Buddy McGirt was actually ringside to watch Ruslan's last fight. And what a fight it was. January 7th against Mauricio Herrera, a competitive bout. Saw Ruslan land the harder and more effective punches, but Herrera boxed well. He worked hard. He earned the decision. Ruslan, reflecting, told us, I didn't want to blame anyone. I decided it would break or make me. I feel you will see my decision tonight. I think you'll see what that has done for my career. And Ivan Popoca, born in Mexico but grew up in Chicago since the age of 5. Picked up boxing at 8, had a strong amateur career, took a few years off to be a teenager basically and enjoy life. Once the fire was back, he moved forward with his pro career. He's now 15-0-1, 29 years old. And as we told you, his first fight outside of Illinois, by far the biggest test that he has faced. Teddy has the fight plan.
Southern California, that great song, It Never Rains in Sunny California. Well, I'm not a weatherman, but I can guarantee it is going to rain tonight on somebody's parade in the main event. Let's find out who's going home wet and who's going to stay dry. You want an umbrella? You're going to need one because you're Popoca. And Popoca, he's not as strong as me, Provodnikov. But he's a game guy. He likes to fight with you a little bit. I think he should box, go in and out, side to side a little bit. And even switch. He likes to switch every once in a while. But he's got slow hands. He's going to stand in front, and when he throws that jab, that slow jab every once in a while, when he does that, bang! Provodnikov has a good right hand. He's going to throw it right over that. You're going to be looking for shelter, and you got too many holes in your roof. Well, Popoca can't avoid the rain. How can we at least make sure he doesn't get struck by lightning? Well, he can start by not standing under a tree or in front of one. I'll be Popoca. You're the tree, the big oak tree, Provodnikov. Now, you're the bigger, stronger guy, and I think that Popoca, again, is going to have to box a little bit. Get up, get out, get to the side, turn southpaw, keep more balance. But somewhere along the line, he's going to want to get his respect. And I think the way he's going to do it is on the inside. You know, his Provodnikov, keep those hands up like that, lean forward a little bit, the right uppercut, bang, bang, left hook. That's a good combination for Popoca. He throws that really well. If he can do that well, he can avoid being a human barbecue. You'll be the one who will be shocked.
Sure will.
Your hair is standing statically.
Good fight plan there on the golf course. I only see you on a golf course one other time a year, and that's when we have the Teddy Atlas Foundation fundraiser in September. And you're eating meatballs on the golf course. You're not picking up a golf ball.
Yeah, we have that every September. You're right. For the Dr. Atlas Foundation, you've been good enough and gracious enough to come there too, and not hit any golf balls, but visit around, drive around. You do a good job of driving around that golf cart and saying hello to everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Ruslan Provodnikov.
So the first fight with trainer Buddy McGirt for Provodnikov. He was the first of the Friday Night Fights 2011 upset victims this year.
There's the line right there, 10 rounds, touch him up. Good luck.
Pat Russell, veteran referee. Third man inside tonight, scheduled for 10 rounds.
Mouthpiece, Ivan.
You know, you lose a fight, as Provodnikov did 2 fights ago on our air against Herrera. It's not complicated. You know, it's not rocket science. One of 2 things happen. You get better, you learn from it, or you lose confidence and you start to move in the wrong direction.
You're fine.
Or you continue to move in the wrong direction because the loss was a wake-up call. It told you that there were things that needed to be corrected. You don't correct them, there will be more losses in your future. The one thing that I look for immediately to see Provodnikov improve on is in the jab. I thought all night long when he lost that fight to Herrera, he should have been using the jab to complement the power punches, to set up the power punches, and to stabilize the guy in front of him who was boxing. A little bit like Popoca's doing right now. And that's not a bad idea. Go to the body and take the legs away from the guy who's trying to move a little bit.
Provodnikov already landing 2 good left hands, and that one to the body was stunning against the midsection of Popoca.
But Popoca has not learned how to lose. But Provodnikov is going to try to teach him. And the way he's going to do it, jab or no jab, he's going to do it with power and strength. I just think he's the bigger, stronger guy in the ring tonight. And I think somewhere along the line, Joe, Popoca, he's doing a good job of boxing right now, but somewhere along the line, he's going to stand in front of Provodnikov because that's what he does. And I think he's going to come in second when he does that.
Neither guy wasting much time early. You can see Provodnikov already scoring with that left hook. Fires it off again that time. Interesting that you brought up the point of needing improvement with the jab. Jaime Mota was with Buddy McGirt earlier. He said the first thing Provodnikov said to him when they got together to train for this fight is, teach me how to jab.
Yeah, that would be the first thing I'd work on. The second thing would be defense. Learning to be less available if you're Provodnikov.
Here's that double jab by the Russian.
Popoca was cut over his left eye in his last fight. He gets in there with his head a little bit. So does Provodnikov. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw red tonight. And maybe more importantly, Popoca was on the floor 2 fights ago.
It's a good left uppercut from Ruslan. Jab right hand from Provodnikov. There's that left hook trying to time it as Popoca came in with the right hand.
Again, Popoca likes to fight with you. He's an aggressive guy. He's a game fighter. He's an undefeated fighter. That means he's confident. And he likes to fight you. He came out boxing, but he's starting to come forward. In his mind, he's going to fight fire with fire. To me, somebody gets burnt. And the guy in his case, maybe with the special suit on, will be Provodnikov. I just think he's stronger, and he can handle a fight in the trenches a little better.
Popoca scored well there moments ago, but Provodnikov has had good work with the left hand, especially to the body. Good opening round for our main event. End of 1, scheduled for 10.
Okay, relax.
James Buddy McGirt
For the 1 punch, let's work the body.
in the corner of Ruslan Provodnikov.
You know, Joe, when you think you have the stronger guy, and I think that Buddy McGirt thinks he has the stronger guy, you want him to go to the body of the weaker guy.
CompuBox numbers in round number 1. Teddy, you brought up wanting to see the improvement with the jabs of Provodnikov. He had a good first round. He was 15 of 31.
I got to give Popoca, you know, I don't know how long it's going to last. I would be going into this. I think Provodnikov has a good chance of knocking out Popoca. If not knocking him out, definitely getting him to visit the canvas as he did 2 fights ago. But I have to give Popoca and his people credit. In the past, he's fought one way, straightforward. And I didn't think he had any chance to do that with a guy who does that better. But he's coming in here boxing a little bit, showing me some dimensions I wasn't sure he had. Being able to use the ring a little bit, go in and out, use that jab.
There he is, doubling up that jab. Reminder that the NASCAR Nationwide Series is at Talladega. The Aaron's 312 at Talladega Saturday on ESPN2. Coverage starts at 2 Eastern.
There's a saying, live by the sword, die by the sword. And sometimes in boxing, you live by the jab, you die by the jab. Good job for Popoca with that jab so far, but he's got to be careful that he doesn't leave one of them out there a little too long where the right hand of Provodnikov can get across.
There's that left hook by Provodnikov that time as Popoca tried to land that right hand to the body. Now he doubles up the jab and comes with the right hand.
Both of these pros have had good amateur careers. Popoca had about 150 amateur fights, the same for Provodnikov, but the difference in the pros, Provodnikov has fought the much better opponents.
So body shot comes in. Had a good solid win against former titleist Javier Warragay on Friday Night Fights. He said that actually Popoca reminds him stylistically of Warragay.
By fighting the better opponents, Provodnikov is of course physically battle tested, but also mentally. He knows that he can handle himself at a certain level. Popoca's finding that out tonight.
Provodnikov is having success to that belt line of Popoca.
Not a bad round for Popoca.
Not at all. Good action here in our main event as we come to the end of round number 2.
You know, jab is great, but if it's a little too slow, it can be dangerous. This one's a little too slow getting back, and the right hand of Provodnikov found the mark. Another angle, the same punch. Slow jab doesn't cover, leaves an opening for the right hand we talked about in the fight plan.
So we see the progress of Ruslan Provodnikov, who suffered first loss of his career on the season debut of Friday Night Fights back in January. Went over to Russia, had a fight to get well, came back, spent 4 weeks with Buddy McGirt, and now trying to get back where he feels he belongs.
You know, we know about the positives and the negatives. We know about the positive of Provodnikov. Stronger guy, he's fought the much better opposition. And Popoca, we know some of the negatives. He hasn't fought as good a competition. He's not as strong as Provodnikov. But I'm going to tell you a negative that at first doesn't strike you. It strikes you as a positive. I think it might be a negative here for Provodnikov. And that's having a real good trainer, Buddy McGirt. Now the positive is...
Spoken by a real good trainer.
Yeah, well, thank you. But the positive is, yeah, he does have a real good trainer in his corner. The negative is that he has that real good trainer in the corner for this fight. He's made some changes, and he hasn't had a lot of time. So does that improve him, or while he's trying to learn, does that confuse him a little bit?
So you like for that to be solidified more, what Buddy's trying to do with him?
I would like it to be maybe go out of town and get 2 or 3 fights, and you can't always do that. You know, where they're hand-picked opponents. Not the first time with an undefeated fighter.
Understood.
And again, great that you got Buddy McGirt, but at the same time, you have a new guy, a new voice, and new things he's been teaching in the gym. Did you have enough time to get them down, or did they confuse you?
Boy, Popoca showing some confidence here against Provodnikov. There's a good digging left hand to the body by the Russian. Spirited fight here. Provodnikov trying to prove himself, trying to erase the memory of that loss on Friday Night Fights. Popoca trying to take advantage of this spotlight moment, the biggest test so far of his career, and to stay unbeaten. Good combination from Ruslan Provodnikov.
And that time, again, is Popoca coming in the front door that time. He's been doing a good job of going in and out, side to side. When he comes straight in, Provodnikov, he's able to counter you a little bit. He's not always coming forward all the time. He showed me this round. I like what I see in Provodnikov this round, Joe. He's shown an ability to go on the outside, maybe not use his jab a lot, but do some countering. Do a little timing shots as Popoca comes forward. Pick his spots a little bit.
Popoca, Provodnikov coming to the end of round number 3.
Out here, not in here. Just take a look right here. Another little dimension of Provodnikov. Gives a little ground, allows Popoca to come in, invites him in actually, opens the door, and then nails him with the right hand. Give a little ground, pick up a right hand.
Joe and Teddy ringside here at Popoca in Temecula, California, round 4 of our 10-round main event.
So that's what I was alluding to, Joe. What we just saw in the replay there. The last round, maybe not a lot of jabbing from Provodnikov, but standing on the outside, not just coming forward and picking up offense on the outside in some counter opportunities. You know, Provodnikov fools you a little bit. You look at him, you look at his physique, he's like a cinder block, and you say, well, he's just one way. You're just going to see him coming forward all night long, and he can do other things. He does them subtly. He's doing them now. He can stand on the outside, he can time you a little bit. As we showed before, he can step back, look to do that, get you to come in, counter with the left hook that time. You have 150 amateur fights. Usually, you've learned how to do other things. I like the job Provodnikov's doing the last 2 rounds. Again, boxing, not using his legs to box, not moving his head a lot like Pernell Whitaker to box, but still he's boxing. He's controlling range, doing a lot of timing, little steps out. The only thing that you'd like to see a little bit more, we talked about it at the top, that jab.
Here are the CompuBox jab numbers. 50 landed for Provodnikov.
Last 2 rounds, Provodnikov, or I should say Popoca, standing in front, I think, a little bit too much. Too much for the liking of Provodnikov, but not for the benefit of Popoca.
Pick him up.
It's a warning after that left hand strayed just below the belt line.
If you didn't know better, you'd think Popoca was restricted in where he can use his legs. Watch, when he moves to the right a little bit, he only goes about 2 steps. When he moves to the left, about 1 step. When he goes back, 1 step. I think that he needs to extend that distance a little bit. He's still in front, much too much.
End of 4. Good crowd here at Popoca. Early start in Southern California, but they have come in, filled this place up as they often do. Ruslan Provodnikov and the 15-0-1 Ivan Popoca.
It's almost as though there's an invisible rope around the waist or the legs of Popoca. He knows in his mind that he can't stand in front too much, although he's standing there now. But he'll move to the side, but not quite enough. Look, right now he moves to the right, but not enough. He's still right in front of Provodnikov, the stronger guy.
Hasn't been his nature for most of his career to have to even think that way, but against Provodnikov, obviously it was drilled into him in the preparation for this fight. Let's look at Teddy's scorecard through 4 rounds, 39-37 for the Russian.
There you go. Get low, Ivan. Get low right there. Get low.
A good right hand to the body for Provodnikov. He has had success going to the body of Popoca tonight.
That was a good right hand, but what that right hand illustrated to me, I think, was that there should be more of it. I mean, it was so obvious you could hear it. It was a real clean shot. It was there against Popoca, who gives you the body by standing in front of you. And if anything, it just kind of registered in your mind that, hey, we're not seeing enough of it. it made such an impact. It was so clean that you'd have to say, why is he not going there more often?
Every time he has targeted the body, he's had success.
Again, a good right hand to the body by Provodnikov, but just one right hand.
An example of the difference in hand speed moments ago. And he got caught with a left hook standing right in front, Teddy.
Again, I think Popoca, I've been saying in the last few rounds, standing in front of the stronger guy, just too much.
Big shots being landed by Provodnikov. Thudding blows upstairs.
And you have a real good ref in there, Pat Russell. He's got himself real close. He's allowed him to fight, but he's staying real close.
Oh, big shot there. Popoca's taking damage here in this final minute of round 5.
Yeah, Popoca's trying to pull anything he can out of the heart, out of the hat, and he's turning southpaw now, hoping maybe that throws Provodnikov off a little bit.
Another right hand. That was a big round for Ruslan Provodnikov.
Nice deep breath, deep breath. Again.
Again, Popoca doing good, but standing in front and not moving after his last punch. He stands there and he gets nailed, and then Provodnikov knows what to do. Follow him to the ropes and keep him on the ropes. Follow him to the ropes and keep him there. If you can knock Provodnikov at all, and it's hard to do it in that round, could have went to the body just a little bit more to take some of that head movement, that surviving head movement away from the game Popoca.
Okay.
I need for you to circle with the double jab right hand. Okay. Here. Ivan, here, wait, don't move yet. Double jab right hand. Go.
You know, Joe, when a guy's hurt, he's going to move his head. Even if he wasn't moving it early, instincts are going to take over. And he's going to start moving. That's when the one who's trying to do the hurting needs to go downstairs to a place that's not moving. The body.
CompuBox numbers will show us the punches in the last round. A dominating effort from Provodnikov, landing 53% of his 97 thrown.
How dominating? Dominating enough for me to make it a 10-8 round.
I completely agree.
And you wonder, the positive is the 10-8 round for Provodnikov. What is the negative? Well, you've seen it early on. Provodnikov spent himself a little bit, and he's coming out with no offense.
And Popoca is firing here. More steady on his feet to open up this 6th round.
Popoca used great heart to survive at the end there. And also, he fought. He turned southpaw for that last 20, 25 seconds. Maybe by turning lefty was just enough to allow him to confuse Provodnikov to get out of that round. Popoca will switch to the lefty stance every once in a while. Provodnikov definitely affected by the output of punches that last round. He's shown it by turning southpaw, trying to kill a little time here, playing around a little bit on defense, but maybe most importantly, allowing Popoca to recover a little bit.
Landing a right hand that time, and now mixes in an uppercut. Does Popoca. What a turnaround for Popoca here in round number 6.
Provodnikov's a little tired.
Right hand to the body from Ruslan. Rolled with that right hand. Good work on the inside from Popoca, but he has to be careful standing in front.
It's a little bit of an optical illusion right now for Popoca. You know, he's coming straight in and he's scoring with offense. He's having a very good round, but a lot of it, the illusion is that he's safe. He's safe now because Provodnikov's tired. He's not throwing. But he's still not safe if he's going to stay in front of Provodnikov too long for the rest of the night.
Remember, at the end of the last round, Pat Russell, the referee, was taking a look, seeing if Popoca could continue. Not only did he continue, probably won this 6th round.
Brian Kenny and Dan Rayfield here for Friday Night Fights. Dan, your take on the fight so far?
Good fight, action fight. I kind of figured when the fight got made, it would be an action fight, and that's what we're getting. I think Provodnikov looks very good right now. He's making it a good fight.
Always like watching Provodnikov. Makes me think of Kostya Tszyu and the glory days. Joe?
Yeah, a lot of folks have made that comparison. They come from the same area. Obviously, ethnically, the comparison's easy to be made. Obviously, Tszyu, a much more well-rounded, upper elite, well-skilled fighter. Provodnikov trying to show more dimensions to his game.
If I'm Popoca, I'm going to use my legs a little bit more than I did the last round. The last round, he used his legs going forward, and he was right, because Provodnikov was spent from the last round. He expended himself and too much energy. And Popoca was able to come forward, catch up a little bit, do some good offensive moments there. But Provodnikov had a chance to refuel in that corner. If I'm in Popoca's corner, I'd be a little concerned about him standing right in front of Provodnikov this round. And you can see Popoca trying to box a little bit more this round, using that jab and stepping.
NBA playoffs are going to get underway this weekend. Saturday, ABC and ESPN. Coverage on ABC begins with Buick Regal NBA Countdown at 3 o'clock. ESPN 1 o'clock. Pacers and the #1 seeded in the East Bulls. 3:30 on ABC. 76ers against the Miami Heat.
That mouth of Provodnikov wide open.
Seen that before with him, but it's been like that for most of the night here against Popoca.
Again, you wonder how much that 5th round, you saw what it took out of Popoca. What did it take out of Provodnikov? You're seeing that now.
Good exchange that time. It finished up with the left hand upstairs from Provodnikov. Wide sweeping right hand from Popoca, now on the inside.
Now again, the last round, Joe, Popoca did the same thing. He stood in front, he got away with it, because Provodnikov wasn't letting those hands go. He's letting the hands go a little bit more this round, and Popoca paying a little bit more of a price for standing in front.
Shoulder to shoulder, chest to chest, right in front now. Popoca reverting back to some of his previous styles that he was known for, and you can see more work by Provodnikov now.
This fight's starting to remind me a little of the Herrera fight where Provodnikov lost, in the way that Popoca, like Herrera, very game, but not the puncher.
Right.
But a guy who's hustling, a guy who's moving his hands, a guy who's always there, a guy who's a pain in the neck.
There's another good thudding right hand from Provodnikov. Herrera outworked him down the stretch of that fight. Still a very close fight. This one could shape up that way. More to come. Stay with us.
Watch Mr. Popoca in the red. He gets caught with that right hand. Every time he gets hurt, he turns southpaw. Now watch. He knows he's been stung a little bit. He says, you know what? I better turn lefty now for the rest of this round to get me out of this round.
Round 8 scheduled for 10. All year long on Friday Night Fights 2011, it has been a constant theme. You come in undefeated to a main event, you leave with a loss. It happened to Ruslan Provodnikov, a much talked about prospect entering 2011. Now he's trying to have Popoca experience that.
You know, I like the way Popoca, when he's hurt, he says, hey, let me use whatever's available to me. Let me turn southpaw, maybe that'll buy me a little time. But the bad news about that, it's like a polygraph test. I mean, it's like he's telling Provodnikov, I'm hurt. Because every time he gets hurt, he turns southpaw. And Provodnikov, if he doesn't know he's hurt, he sees him turn southpaw, he says, I'm going to jump on him because he's telling me he's hurt. Right now, Provodnikov hurting Popoca to the body.
Heavier-handed fighter is Provodnikov, and it's showing up here a minute into round 8.
Yeah, 8 rounds later than it should have. I mean, it showed up in spots earlier, but we said early that you would think that Provodnikov would stay to that body. Again, no better way to exploit your advantage of pure strength than to go to the body of the guy who's not as strong. So this is where the jab would help Provodnikov tremendously, and he uses it a little bit right there.
Oh, and a right hand puts down Popoca. Big shot by Provodnikov.
5, 6, 7, 8. You okay? Come here. You all right? Let's go. 5.
Well, two things helped Provodnikov. One was Popoca. There he goes, turn to southpaw. So he's telling you, I am really hurt. Look how he turns southpaw, Joe. Popoca, he might as well shout out across the ring. Provodnikov, I am hurt. I'm turning southpaw. You can finish me. And he is going to get finished.
Two huge headshots in this fight. TKO victory for the Russian.
See, at the end there, he turned southpaw like we showed around before. And again, he might as well have yelled out, I'm done.
And a good stoppage by referee Pat Russell as Ivan Popoca's head was being ragdolled there. He had scored the knockdown, and we will show you the action. There's the knockdown, Teddy, the right hand, but at the end of this fight, you can just watch the head of Popoca being sent around. Beautiful shot there.
Again, the jab sets it up, and what really set it up was Popoca standing right in front. We talked about it earlier. Popoca standing in front of the stronger guy. At the end, Popoca turned southpaw. That's all Provodnikov needed to know. He's hurt. I'll jump on him, and I'm happy.
Big win by Provodnikov just to get back to where he was with new trainer Buddy McGirt. He went to Russia, took a fight, came back to American TV, trained with Buddy McGirt here in Southern California, and proved himself, handing Popoca his first loss. CompuBox final numbers, the power shots, a 154 to 103 edge to Ivan Popoca. Remember, he had him hurt badly in round 5, but basically punched himself out, took the 6th round off. Popoca came back, continued to box him, but then the power reemerged in round number 8. And let's take a look at our punch of the night, brought to you by Just for Men Hair Color. The 1-2 by Provodnikov, the right hand that was the beginning of the end.
And again, the jab sets it up, blinds him a little bit, and clears the way for the nice straight right.
Up to the ring to Thomas Schreiber.
Ladies and gentlemen, here is the official time. 2 minutes, 16 seconds of round number 8. Our referee in charge, Pat Russell, stops the contest. Your winner by way of technical knockout, Ruslan Provodnikov.
So the first of the beaten prospects to return and win, Ruslan Provodnikov, 8th round TKO, and another unbeaten, ousted in a Friday night fight main event. Good stuff between Popoca and Provodnikov. Let's send it back to the Friday night fight studio and Brian Kenny.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Teddy. Here with Dan Raphael, ESPN.com. You said Provodnikov's a good finisher. Get ready to come back, and that's what he did. Good comeback for him.
Yeah, I mean, he won the one fight in Russia, but he's a very good finisher. And when you put guys in front of him like that that are going to stand there, he's going to finish them all day long. I mean, he is that kind of guy. He's relentless. He fights in a great division, the 140-pound division. There's some business in that weight class, and because of the way he fights, the action style, you know, he's going to get himself a big fight, I think.
Let's go to heavyweight right now. Tomasz Adamek will get his shot at the title September in Poland against Vitaly Klitschko, taking on Kevin McBride in Newark this past weekend. McBride, best known for being Mike Tyson's last opponent. Best thing you could say here, Dan, is that He was very big. He's 285 pounds, but he never really capitalized on that Tyson win, and he was just kind of cannon fodder here for Adamek.
And that was the point. I mean, he outweighed Adamek, 285 pounds to 215 pounds, but the idea was for Adamek to get a big name, a big opponent, a large guy in front of him before Klitschko.
Former Hagler trainer Goody Petronelli was in McBride's corner.
Kevin, from round one, after round one, he was told to stay on him, jump on him, don't try to outbox him, you know, and he really didn't do that. Kevin was trying to box him, standing back a little bit, picking his shots, but in the meantime, he was getting beat, you know, and I figured that Kevin was bigger, stronger, use that to an advantage, because that's what you got to do in boxing. I mean, sometimes you got to throw the science out the window and just fight them like Rocky Marciano.
Goody Petronelli here on Friday Night Fights. 26 years ago today, marvelous Marvin Hagler, Thomas Hearns. All right, well, we're going to get back to Goody in a second. Vitaly Klitschko, September 10th in Poland. Adamek draws great in New Jersey because he's Polish. You can imagine what he's going to do in Poland. What do you think of that fight? Is everything all clear now?
Everything is all clear. There is still the very slight possibility that Vitaly Klitschko may take a June interim fight. I don't think that's going to happen, but the thing is clear now. They have a clear path, and in Poland, it's a huge fight. Tomasz Adamek is like a rock star. He's the biggest sports personality in the country, from what his people tell me. I've not been to Poland, so I can't say for sure.
But maybe now you go.
But it's a big deal, and he will have the place rocking. They're fighting in a soccer stadium outdoors. It should be quite an event.
You won't be able to say that after September 10th. All right, Dan Rayfield is here with us in the studio all throughout the night, the best information man in the business. You've got the Nationwide Series going to Talladega this weekend. Nationwide Series looking to tame one of NASCAR's most unpredictable tracks, the Aaron's 312 at Talladega. Coverage begins Saturday, 2 Eastern on ESPN2. We will hear live from Ruslan Provodnikov next.
ESPN Friday Night Fights brought to you by Burger King, who remind you to have it your way. Action-packed night here at Popoca in Southern California. Teddy and Joe with you ringside. We take a look back at our main event. The unbeaten Ivan Popoca, unbeaten no more against Ruslan Provodnikov. 5th round, Provodnikov hurt him, Teddy.
Yes, he did. One of the ways he did it was going downstairs to the body to show that he was a stronger guy, and then back upstairs.
Then in the 8th round, a beautiful 1-2. Watch the right hand from the Russian.
And the right hand, watch the jab that sets it up. And then he knew what to do. Popoca turned southpaw. He had turned southpaw early in the fight when he was hurt. And that time, Provodnikov did not let him recover.
And we're so glad to be joined ringside by Ruslan Provodnikov, now 19-1, and Vadim Kornilov, his co-manager and interpreter. First of all, Vadim, please tell him congratulations. It must feel great to avenge what happened back in January, his loss on Friday Night Fights, and have him assess the evening.
Он тебя поздравляет с хорошей победой, с красивой победой. И ты восстановился после последнего поражения, если его можно назвать поражением. Расскажи, что ты думаешь об этом вечере.
Я хочу сказать, что этот вечер для меня был перед боем. Я понимал, что если я сегодня проиграю, то все, можно вешать перчатки на гвоздь. Для меня этот бой был последним. Можно сказать, я выходил как на последний раз. И вот поддержка моей команды, моих родных. Это сегодня было звездное возвращение. Просто я благодарю Бога, что я смог вернуться сегодня. Спасибо всем, кто меня сегодня поддержал.
When I was coming into this fight tonight, I felt like it was, the last fight for me, because I knew either I win or I put my gloves up on the nail. And I feel like, thank God, I was able to come back, and I can for myself, I can call this, a star coming back into the ring and redeeming himself, even if it was a loss that he lost.
И спасибо ESPN, что после поражения не разочаровались во мне и дали мне возможность доказать. Спасибо вам.
So I just want to say one thing in the beginning. I want to thank ESPN for not
Спасибо, Teddy.
For not letting me go after that last fight and getting me back in the ring, and I knew I could prove myself, and that's what I did.
I proved himself tonight, Teddy.
He's a fun fighter to watch. We love watching him. He's TV friendly. I thought the big difference from the last time he fought on our air with Herrera, when he didn't win that fight, he didn't get the decision, was he went to the body more and he used the jab a little bit more. His style of fighting, he needs to go to the body more. And he did it tonight. Would he agree with that? And is that something we're going to see more of a commitment to?
Он считает, что между этим боем и боем с Херрерой, что ты смог тут сделать, это ты чуть-чуть больше бил джеб, и ты смог больше идти в корпус. С твоим стилем, они очень рады тебя всегда здесь видеть. Ты очень хороший бокс для телевидения показываешь, и зрелищный. И как ты считаешь, те факторы, что ты начал бить больше джеб и начал идти в корпус больше, это сделало большие какие-то изменения в бою? И увидим ли мы это в будущих боях?
Вы сегодня увидели другого Руслана, который стал технически более подкован, который сделал выводы после поражения. Я не стал искать виноватых, а сделал выводы. И я благодарен этому поражению, потому что это поражение дало мне Бади Магирда, который сегодня просто благодаря его подсказкам, его сдержанности, он сегодня сделал все красиво. Это благодаря Бади. Грамотные подсказки, просто вот.
I felt like that made a big difference, and I know I made the mistakes in the other fight, and I didn't look for anybody responsible for my last loss. I just sat down, thought about it, and made my decision that I'm going to come back and prove myself. And I think that loss gave me Buddy McGirt, and I want to thank Buddy McGirt because I feel like he did a lot for me in this fight. He technically improved my skills. I'm able to jab more. I'm able to move around. I'm able to see the punches better and move my head more. And I feel that in the ring today, he was telling me the right things to do, and that's really important. That I might have not had that before.
Vadim, Ruslan, thank you so much. I'm sure we'll see you down the road. Congratulations again. 8th round TKO win for the always exciting Ruslan Provodnikov. Impressive stuff. The jab, the right hand,